Hello there, Mandy here. Restorative Grief with Mandy Capehart is not just a podcast. It's also a book, a free online grief group, and a one-on-one private coaching practice. If you are interested in learning more, visit mandykapehart.com to find out how restorative grief can help you heal heart, mind, body, and spirit. Welcome back to Restorative Grief with Mandy Capehart. You are listening to episode 218, titled Empty Chairs and Full Hearts, Navigating Holidays After Loss. This time of year, it seems like every commercial, every song, and every social media post is telling us the same thing. The holidays are about togetherness. But for those of us living with grief, that message can land differently because someone you love is missing. Togetherness can feel more like a reminder of what or who isn't there. So this week, we're going to name how we can keep our grief close and cared for during all the holiday festivities. The holidays have a way of magnifying absence, an empty chair at the table, a stocking that doesn't need to be hung, a conversation that will never happen again. Even if your grief isn't about death, maybe it's estrangement, divorce, distance, or a shift in your sense of belonging, that ache is very real. You might still hear laughter, smell cinnamon or pine, or still watch the lights twinkle, and yet beneath it all, there's a tug of memory reminding you that this season used to look different. So what do we do with that? How do we honor the empty spaces without letting them swallow the whole season? In restorative grief, we talk about making room, not for what was, but for what is. It's different from moving on. It's learning how to live with the absence in a way that feels honest and gentle. That might mean saying no to a tradition that doesn't feel good this year. It might mean creating a new one that honors what has changed. Maybe you light a candle for your loved ones at a dinner table, or share a story about the person you miss. And maybe you just choose stillness over celebrations. Or maybe you show up, tears and all, because you know that grief and joy can sit side by side, and that you are enough to hold both. The truth is, there's no single right way to do the holidays while grieving, but there is a restorative way, one that centers awareness, choice, and compassion. So this year, I want to invite you to try a simple grounding practice. Before you step into a holiday gathering, or even before you start decorating or cooking or planning, pause for an intentional deep breath. Place your hand over your heart and name aloud what you're bringing into the room. Maybe it's sadness, gratitude, maybe it's confusion or relief, or all of the above. But whatever it is, acknowledge it. Give yourself permission to show up as you are, not as you think you should be. And if you need to step away during the day for a breath, a cry, or a moment of silence, let that be your ritual of restoration. Honoring our grief at the holidays can feel touchy. Some of those in your presence may be struggling to acknowledge their own grief, wanting just a day to pretend all is fine. Others may need the acknowledgement to feel whole and ready to celebrate those who've gathered. So finding a way to practice consent with all who are present is a beautiful offering of healing in your own grief work as well. You don't need to send out warning messages ahead of time, and certainly you don't need to apologize for what you're feeling. But garnering consent of those present might include asking everyone to share what they're thinking about, not just what they're grateful for. If speaking aloud is uncomfortable, writing it down and passing a basket around to read aloud anonymously can be a way for everyone to feel heard and cared for without the spotlight right on them. And maybe you do have an empty chair at the table as a way of acknowledging those who are unable to be present. But honoring the empty chair doesn't mean staring at it all night. It means recognizing its presence and remembering why it matters. Because grief, at its core, is evidence of love. The love that doesn't disappear. It changes shape. It becomes part of how you move through the world, more tender, more aware, more attuned to what truly matters. So maybe this season, instead of trying to make everything perfect, you can let it be true, imperfect, tender, unfinished, but real. That's the kind of togetherness restorative grief invites, the kind where honesty and love take the lead. Because even with empty chairs, our hearts can still be full of love, full of memory, full of the quiet courage it takes to keep going. Thank you for listening to episode 218 of Restorative Grief. If you're finding this holiday season complicated, please remember you're not alone. The ache you feel is sacred space, proof that love left a mark worth honoring. So if this conversation resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to the show, leave a review, or consider becoming a patron. Supporting the show helps this work continue and unlocks access to bonus episodes and reflective workbooks to help you deepen your grief practice. And as always, thank you to patrons. And before we go, please remember, the only solution for grief is to do the work of grieving. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week.